Hello everyone. So, Sandersides has just uploaded the new video. I'm so excited. My name's Miriam Preston. This is the first time I've ever done a reaction video, so this has actually been done on my phone. So, yeah. It's 51 minutes and 9 seconds long. Oh my god. I love that. And yeah. I'm watching it on TV. I don't usually do that either. It's usually on my laptop, which is over there at the moment. Ooh. Word crush.
Thomas! Oh my gosh, you made it! We're so happy to see you!
How you doing, you beautiful man? Oh, I'm sorry for calling you beautiful. That was weird. My bad.
You could call me beautiful, Mary Lee.
I always do beautiful.
We love each other. Hence the marriage.
Anyway, what's new, Thomas? Anything exciting going on in your life?
Hey, you okay, buddy? You look real sad in this photo I just took. No, I'll grab you out.
Now we have the couple for their first dance.
Oh, sorry, Thomas. Gotta go.
It was so great seeing you.
Aww, poor Thomas. No. I just knocked on the thing. It was like,
Guess who just got a callback for an Alfred Hitchcock Lucas movie? When is the callback? April 13th. He has a prior engagement that day. The wedding. Nobody's perfect. Except for Thomas. He loves his friends. I want to go to the callback.
I hereby sentence you to 1 day at the St. Clifford's Chapel on the day of Lee and Mary Lee's wedding.
someone please.
What the f***, everybody? Now, kiddo, if you're gonna dish out F's, why don't we make them friendly hugs? F friends, Patton. Wait, you're talking about friendly hugging your friends? No! Thomas, you should never... I'm surprised that you would say something like that about your friends. I always thought that when it came to your pals,
He's a bit angry.
that sort of language
Isn't he
would
going to be anger? Because that's what I'm thinking
oh,
right
it's
now.
very affable. It's affable as F. With a situation that's... up. You're not at all
Oh,
excited for it? With so much F-use thrown about, I doubt there's much he'd like to F-use about. Right, what do you mean am I not... Okay, you know what? Let's review. Let's do. Thank you. I hope we rhyme like this the whole way through. I hope so too. You hope so. Let's start with the fact that the wedding was a total bust. It was? It was. It's just that going didn't pay off quite like we discussed. You mustn't think that going to a wedding to support your friends would have any sort of self-serving ends. I don't, but how about more than just hello? Yeah, something's iffy. Glad you're with me, but the state of things is icky. Is there something here we're missing, maybe? No! I mean, you know that we've gone through all of this before. Before it helped you make the proper choice of wedding.
This is really catchy, actually.
Yet the comic for a film that could have been my break. Yeah, you could say no one wanted to go more than that slimy snake who pushed to do the egocentric thing. That's the scene. A part of you so hard to do it, but you lost at sea. The goals alignment is what would they say? I felt forsaken. You were saying that we both have lost our way. But in your face I saw this pain, and so I made this choice. And now I have a restless head. And my dad, I'll just feel this way. What way? The way a groom might feel they just watched as his bride ran away. Again. I'm saying if I made the right choice, I don't have to feel right. It may not tonight, but in time, my time now, I think this feeling's here to stay. It is a pity to admit he could have done more than just sitting at that wedding feeling. Quit reviewing. Okay.
Quit reviewing!
Boy, how could such an upsetting conversation happen in such a fun way? Oh,
right?
Just talk to us. More. Wait a minute. Why didn't I just talk to them before the wedding? I kind of brought that up before, but it got shut down faster than an Antarctic ice pop shop, so... Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I could have just told them everything. If my one interaction with them was any indication, they obviously wouldn't have cared if I wasn't there at all. Maybe so. Wait, are you having second thoughts about choosing to go to the wedding, Roman? Oh, no. Of course not. I just wish we could have known how they felt. Maybe it could have, I don't know, made things a little easier for us. Well, hindsight is 20/20, so. Okay, but if you're a sighted person with less than 20/20 vision, you don't just ignore whatever you see in front of you. I see. We should start looking into ways to predict the future. No. Very good. What I'm saying is I know Lee and Mary Lee. I can predict how they might act in specific situations. I know that they are very understanding people, and I should have used that knowledge. That would have been using foresight. But I didn't do that. So I made a decision with a blindfold on. But in Patton's defense, people are complicated, fickle things, aren't they? You think you know someone, and then wham! Out of nowhere, they fill your apartment with feral cats, and now you're somehow responsible for the vet bills? You've got to give them away, but despite your cat allergy, you've endeared yourself to them, especially to Mrs. Snuffles. More like Mrs. Sniffles, because of the allergy.
What the freak?
Your point being, foresight isn't really the most reliable tool that we have. Cool, so we don't use it at all? We did use it. You've known Lee and Mary Lee for most of your life, and they've always lent
I've
a
never seen
helping
this
hand
episode
when
before,
you
but that
needed
seemed
it.
watchable.
That's true. When your car broke down an hour out of town, who was the only person willing to come out and give you a jump? Mary Lee. I don't know what good she thought jumping would do. What you needed was somebody to fix your car. And Lee always had my back in high school after I came out. Exactly. Now here, they met up with you face to face to tell you about their wedding engagement. Biggest day of their lives. And they asked you if you could be there. I wasn't even like a groomsman or anything. Well, it's not Lee's fault that he has so many brothers. Catholics. Catholics. So it was baby.
I'm Catholic.
We didn't have the first clue how it would make them feel. You thinking about giving their wedding a pass, all because of a callback that really might not work out. And not that you're not a talented guy. No, yeah. Dame Judi Dench, or as I like to call her, Queen Ruby Dench, didn't land her first big Hollywood movie role until she was 61. So maybe they understand.
That's pretty
But
interesting.
maybe they still really want you to go to the wedding and feel too guilty to say so. Or maybe you end up going to the wedding and they feel guilty seeing you there because they feel like they took a big opportunity away from you. But they wouldn't have felt that way. But we didn't know that. Foresight means thinking about every possibility. Talking to them about it could have been harmful.
But
And this was our chance to be there for them.
Where is Virgil?
Was not
Where's
talking
Logan?
to them worth it, though.
Is Remus gonna be in this episode? Because I like Remus.
Whatever happened to karma, you know? You do something good stuff happens to you. Right, yeah, why is the saying, karma's a bitch? Why can't it be, karma is a very fair person? Why does their complexion matter? Well, unfortunately, life isn't always like your video games. Sometimes you can make all the good choices and still not get the good ending. I don't know if there even was a good ending to get. I'm pretty sure there was.
What?
The jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. Roman, that actually does sound jolly good. I mean,
But
sure, it does sound very jolly, and we can all agree that you are a good fellow. Can we all agree on that? Yes, I can. We can all. Okay. I understand.
Oh, stop picking on
that
Ben.
I have been a little much the mayor of Munchkinland. Sure, when it comes to giving Thomas the third degree on his integrity. Right. And yeah, it is my job to keep you on Santa's nice list. But I haven't been making you feel very nice. I don't want to make you think you're some stupid, dirty, rotten, filthy, silly, Billy, no good for nothing, white, rat, scoundrel. Okay, thank you, Rowan, for your help. You're welcome. I'm done asking, is Thomas a good person? I'm just here now to help you be as good as a good bud should. Okay, well, that's a relief. I think. So, yeah, you are a good fella. But not every good fella gets a big award. Only Joe Pesci. Well, what do we get? Sometimes it's just this. A bagel? What? No.
What?
Maybe. No, nothing. It's nothing. Oh, sometimes you can't get anything because a lot of the time people need something more than you do. Like, let's say you pass by some sort of stop where you can buy games. A game store. You mean the internet? I'm not going outside. Oh, come on, Roman. Video
No
games
going
need so
outside.
much indoor time that they should cost a little outdoor time, don't you think? Anyway, you see a poster for the latest installment in the Frogger franchise. Oh, you're such a dad. Ah, buddy, Frogger's not really a big thing anymore. And they're missing out. There is no video game character as cool as Frogger. Heck, he eats fly for breakfast. Okay. And trying to cross a busy road without losing his froggy life? Talk about riveting. Like, you're such a dad that it's too much to handle sometimes. Anyway, everyone's raving about the
stop
new
being
Frogger.
mean.
Best one yet. Amazing graphics. At least 16 graphics. Do you even know what you're saying right now? Okay, it's on sale for about, I don't know, as much as a hot dog is worth. And that's how much you get when you return a game. You have just enough money to buy it. But as you walk up to the door, you're stopped by a homeless, down-in-his-luck actor. And who is it? Whoever you want. Oh, come on, Patton. How is Thomas supposed to feel empathy for this person if he has no one to visualize? Alrighty, it's Leslie Odom Jr. What? Why Leslie? I need backstory for this. What happened, Pat? I don't know. He spilled his drink on Stephen Sondheim at a party, and Sondheim said, "Gosh darn it, Leslie, you'll never work in this razzle-dazzle town again." He should just move to another town, right? Wow, this hypothetical version of Stephen Sondheim sounds like a real mother crupper. So, Mr. Odom Jr. tells you that he's very hungry, and he points you to a nearby hot dog vendor. It's just a few yards away. By the liquid lipstick of William Shakespeare, a hot dog would cost Thomas his entire Frogger fund. It's all coming together. What do? Pretend you're talking on the phone so he leaves you alone? Tell him, I don't have any money, Leslie, and hightail it the heck out of here. Buy him a hot dog, or do you hightail it the heck out of there?
And I really want this Frogger game.
Yeah, you do. You woke up at 6 a.m. dull to go and get it. 6 a.m. dull? Do you mean sharp? No, that's really early for you. So you weren't quite able to get out of bed until like 6:08. Well, regardless, of course I bought him the hot dog. So you mustered up the will to give him a dinner that he could relish. Only, when he takes the hot dog, he walks away without thanking you. What do you do now? Do you say, "You're welcome," in a way that lets him know you think he was rude? Do you prompt him by saying, "What do you say?" Do you physically take the hot dog back? Or do you go about your day?
I mean, there's an obvious right answer here.
Please don't tell me you're going to wrestle Tony Award-winning actor Leslie Odom Jr. for a hot dog.
What? No. I'm gonna go about my day.
Even though he didn't say thank you, he doesn't have to. Just like you didn't have to get him a hot dog. I feel like you kind of do, though. Maybe. You don't need the new Frogger. Well, no one needs a new Frogger. Why do you think Thomas has to give the money back? Well, because that money was going to a luxury item. In that situation, it's so easy. It's all right in front of you. A hungry person comes up to you and says, "I need food. And the food I need is right there." You have the money. And it wasn't going to something you needed. You can disagree. But I feel like it might be kind of
Banana flavored.
wrong to keep the money for yourself. Mamma mia! Jesus Christ, superstar! What is that? It's just me, Logan. Hi. taking this
What?
form because I didn't want to be too invasive. You very much did not succeed. What you doing, Logan? Well, determining what feels right or wrong for you isn't really my area of expertise. Seeing how there's not much left at stake at this juncture, and that regret, unfortunately, is a process that can't be expedited, I decided that I need not expend too much energy on this matter. However, I felt that it would behoove all parties involved if I provided relevant information to serve as supporting evidence to any of the arguments that are made during today's discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Neato! So you're making your
Neato
little
under your
factoid
small
factual
words.
this time around. Facts. Factoid is a term coined by Norman Miller to describe false facts invented for magazines in order to manipulate the readers. And yes, I suppose they could be viewed as optional, your two options being informed or ignorant. Oh, I've got this one, guys. I'm just kidding. Roman, you shouldn't push people's buttons. No, go on, Logan. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Thomas. Oh! Guess I won't be wrestling a hot dog away from Logan.
Logan's face.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Logan. Oh, holy hero, we gotta read. It would be an estimated annual cost of $20 billion to eliminate homelessness in the United States, according to Mark Johnston, lost all that. Okay, Americans spend more than $20 billion.
This always happens in video games.
Many Americans don't have the currency to spare to end homelessness in the United States forever. Okay, I'm not doing that again. I'm sorry. That was too fast. Can you, one more time, Rome? Huh? Yeah, I guess everyone doing their small part for those in need could make a difference. Yeah, and even if I can't change things on my own, something as little as briefly helping a greatly troubled, prodigious actor would still give me more pleasure than playing Frogger. Well, yeah! I mean, it's Frogger we're talking about. Like, it's not like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, as long as that's not the main reason you're doing it. What? Oh, well, you shouldn't do a good thing just because it makes you feel good. I think.
That's fine.
You literally said the opposite to deceit when we were back in the courtroom. Yeah!
Yeah, he did.
I did. We all agreed that in that situation, the right thing to do was go to the wedding, which didn't feel good at all. So, yeah, I was wrong. Not to mention, deceit said that you'd be doing the right thing for a selfish reason if you did it for your own emotional gain. And you agree? Definitely. Maybe? Great. I love that movie. I mean, yeah, I think so. What do you think? Oh, well, I think we all know
Can we bring
not
Virgil in
exactly an
yet?
expert in the
Oh,
moral.
my Dark Straight son.
No, go ahead, Roman. I'd like to hear from you. Okay. I don't know how much it matters why you do something. What do you mean? Oh, it was nothing. It was stupid. Oh, no, please continue. Yeah, I'm sorry, Roman.
Aww.
Okay. So, like, say a very handsome prince. Who's the prince? I don't know. Leslie Odom Jr.
Why is he
I couldn't yeah, that's right. From homeless and royally screwed to castle-dwelling royalty, too. Just your typical Tuesday. Anyway, Leslie offers up a reward. What's the reward? Leslie's famous cake. Phrasing. What? Leslie's literal cake that he baked. Oh my gosh. He offers it to whosoever is able to rescue his kingdom from the clutches of the skewed-bellied tyrant who is currently occupying said kingdom. What if someone rescued the kingdom for the reward?
Why?
I don't
You've
know.
been mean to see.
I just feel like it doesn't make much of a difference so long as all of the denizens are liberated? Huh, that is something that, I don't know if it's right. You don't know if it's a good thing that everyone was saved? Wow, Patton, way to be a, side with valid doubts about a complex moral issue. Of course, I think it's good that the kingdom is safe. That's great. The most important thing. But, you know, the people in this kingdom are suffering at the slimy hands of this reptilian rapscallion. I was just blanking on the word guy, but, you know, sure. People are being hurt by this reptilian with scallions, you know, and this person doesn't care about them? They just want to earn some reward? That doesn't sound like a very good person to me. Yeah, probably.
Dude,
not.
every single
Fair enough,
situation
but
has
I wouldn't even
several
argue for that
nuances.
much. Saving people for a reward is totally different from helping someone out just because it feels nice to help. Like, if the person in Roman's scenario saved the kingdom just because it made them
Look,
feel
it's
good,
popping up
then
again.
no one would argue that they aren't a good person. Well, I mean, maybe not. Am I not allowed to feel good if I do something good? Well, of course you are. That's just not why you do it. At least, I don't think so. But I mean, your morality, you're the guy who makes that call. So why do we do it? Well, you don't do it because it makes you feel good. You do it because
It's right.
it's the right thing to do. Okay.
Called it.
How do we know it's the right thing to do? You just know. Yeah.
It's a gut instinct.
That's not exactly the kind of answer I was hoping for, but well, it's kind of just in all of us, you know? Why is killing and stealing illegal everywhere? Why do we all agree that that's not okay to do? I think it all comes back to empathy. Humans understand each other. We know what feels good and what causes pain. If a whole kingdom is in danger, well, everyone kind of knows that the right thing to do, if you can save a large group of innocent people, is save them. Well, okay. What about, let me ask you this. What if you can only save the large group of people by hurting another innocent person? That causes pain, but you said the right thing to do is to save the group.
It fell. My phone fell.
Can't hurt an innocent person.
Yeah.
Constructive criticism, you know, maybe not depict scenarios where my friends die. Okay, I'm really not trying to argue with you, Patton, but you said everyone knows that it's right to save innocent people when you can. Is that not always true? Well, not when it's like that. It's never okay to hurt an innocent person. So that rule trumps the other rule. Roman! You know we don't like to use the T word in this house. Oh, sorry. So the rule about not hurting people overrules the rule about saving people. Yeah, that makes sense, right? What? But what about the people that got hurt? That was a terrible tragedy that you couldn't do anything about. But you could have done something. You could have redirected the train. But that something wasn't an okay thing to do. Okay, so it's not about the end result then. It's about the how. Like how you do whatever you do. Right. The how. And the why. You don't let the train hit the group of people because you think they deserve to get hit more than the one person. Oh my god. Did you break my blinds? I popped up too close there. Thanks, Roman. You really cut the tension there. You okay? Oh yeah, I'm great. Sure. No, I'm good. Figment of your imagination, so okay. So, about the whole why thing. What is a good why when it comes to why I should do good? I know you said earlier you do it because it's right. So, I guess what I'm asking is, what do I do it for? What's the outcome? What motivates me? I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I would say putting more good into the world. I wish that was a more satisfying answer, but it just isn't.
Where's Virgil?
You know, I'm not doing a really great job explaining this philosophy. Logan, what would a real philosopher think about what I'm saying here? Well, Friedrich Nietzsche really wouldn't have been thrilled with anything you've had to say. Primarily because pity seems to be at the center of your idea of putting good into the world. That's not what Nietzsche famously rejected the notion that pity was a virtue. He once claimed that pity runs counter to the instincts that preserve and enhance the value of
Facial
life. So
expressions.
Thomas is... Well, you can't exactly learn how to care about others from a book, can you? It's okay, Pat. I mean, I don't really agree with the mustache meister either. He does have a super duper unique mustache. What he calls pity, I call empathy. And empathy is good. But I really don't understand what I need to change so that I can meet your standard of having the right motivation. I think I understand. Your desires are getting in the way. The problem is, in all honesty, that you want to spend your money on that new Frogger game more than you want, or even think to give your money to the whole.
Keeps falling. I'm so sorry.
You wanted to go to that callback more than you wanted to support your friends.
Maybe that would be better.
The blame falls to me. If you're missing that do-gooder drive, I think it's because I'm in the driver's seat. And I'm an awful driver.
Raymond.
Perhaps.
I want to give Raymond a hug.
Perhaps I should let Patton take the wheel.
That's gonna fall again.
Roman, I only mean well when I say that that is the stupidest thing you have ever said. Oh, Thomas. You're just blowing smoke. Really, Roman, it's the opposite. I want you on my team more than anyone. If we're talking about a drive or Thomas's will, then there's honestly no side more helpful than you. I mean, I guess. But
Yeah.
I get why Roman's confused. Patton, I don't know what form the drive you're talking about would take. Everything I do is motivated by some sort of feeling. I eat because I feel hungry. I drink because I feel thirsty. I don't know what feeling would motivate me to go out and do good if not some sense of self-satisfaction. The only thing I'm feeling right now is guilt over the things that
Ooh, maybe the
do
new side is
motivate
guilt.
me.
Ooh.
Which kind of makes me not want to do anything. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry about whatever I said to make you feel that way. Doing nothing is even worse. What? Never mind. I'm sorry. Worse than what? I don't know if I should say. You might as well. I'm kind of scared, too. Look, Patton, I already feel bad, so I'd rather not feel bad and confused. Doing nothing is worse than doing a good thing for the wrong reasons. Like, we talked about how you have to... Well, I think it's good to give your money to a good cause if you were planning to spend it on something you don't need. And I feel like the same principle kind of goes for spending time? Maybe? Time spent serving up knuckle sandwiches to bad guys in a video game could maybe be better spent serving up soup and sandwiches to the hungry in a local shelter. I have a difference of opinion on this one, Patton. Thank you. I'm sure we're all familiar with the somewhat tired metaphor for self-care. You must put on your own oxygen mask before helping.
Are we just gonna ignore?
An analogy that warns against the practice of helping others with their personal issues when you yourself are in need of help. I do need help. It's ironic that that
Virgil?
illustration is so overused at this point because it has almost become as easy to tune out that advice as it is to tune out the actual safety instructions on a flight. Easy and very dangerous. In the event that a plane cabin becomes depressurized, you do not have long to secure your oxygen mask before you risk your oxygen saturation levels dropping too much, leading to hypoxia, which is just insufficient oxygen for life functions. Hypoxia symptoms can include an inability to communicate, confusion, unconsciousness, and possibly death. These words are normal for me. Do I have hypoxia right now? Having heard a piece of information before does not give you license to ignore it in the future, especially when the consequences of forgetting are so perilous. Logan, I completely agree with you. But I really don't see how that relates to what we're talking about. Yeah, Logan, like you said earlier, this isn't really your area of expertise. Pat never said Thomas couldn't help himself, especially in a situation as dire as putting on his oxygen mask in a ground-bound plane. Of course I wouldn't say that. I've agreed in the past that Thomas should take the time to make sure he's doing okay and to temporarily put himself first if he needs to.
And just like all of the moral dilemmas we've been discussing, it can seem easy to confidently state what you would do in a difficult situation without legitimately knowing how you would behave when your instincts take over. In theory, you believe Thomas can and should take some time to care for himself, but every point you've made in today's discussion has contradicted that sentiment.
Well, how? I don't think video games versus community service is a threat to Thomas taking care of himself.
Nearly every answer Patton has given to the moral questions throughout this discussion has suggested that a moral life is a life without spending surplus capital and time on leisure activities. Dr. Robert A. Stebbins defined leisure as activity engaged in during free time which people want to do and actually do in either a satisfying or a fulfilling way or both. Leisure means experiencing freedom. It's your time and you do what you want with it, which in turn contributes to a feeling of control and improved self-esteem. A lack of control and self-esteem are two factors that you all now understand can worsen Thomas's relationship with intrusive thoughts, and they have. Additionally, Doctors Iwasaki, Messina, and Hopper wrote that leisure time promotes a joyful life. And if that isn't enough, pleasurable activities stimulate the production of neurochemicals, which can then improve one's physical health. Leisure is something that Thomas needs more of in his life in order to feel like he has a life. And Patton is essentially suggesting that Thomas isn't being as good of a person as he'd like him to be if he doesn't sacrifice his life for others.
Whoa! That is not what I said.
Oh, is it not? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
So if it was between Thomas's life or another's, you don't think Thomas should give his life up?
Whoa,
Oh, and this other person is an innocent little lamb.
Okay,
Or how about a group of innocents?
I don't actually, I would like to know, Patton, what should Thomas do in that kind of situation?
Anxiety.
It's okay, please calm down.
We do
This is actually really
lay down
interesting.
their lives for others as the greatest heroes, so I don't know. You don't know? Earlier you suggested that all people naturally understand right and wrong. So, should Thomas die so that others may live? Yes, I mean, maybe, or maybe not. What do I know? What you think, Thomas, if it's your life, or Leslie's? Like the slow-witted Heracles Patton, leave Leslie out of this one. But how is Thomas supposed to feel empathy for this person if he has no one to visualize? Is there no one else he can feel empathy for? You're right, Roman. Thomas's life, or Lee and Mary Lee's. What do you say, Thomas? I don't know the right answer here. It's up to you.
Oh my god. Thank you, Logan.
This entire conversation has become so muddled due to a constant misleading misuse of conscientious language. You'll need a sharp side to cut through all this bull.
Oh no!
Subterfuge specialist. The Lord of the Lies. I'm happy to oblige. Reptilian Rapscallion! Reptilian Rapscallion! We've got a code yellow! Just see. What have you done with Logan? Nothing at all, and I resent the question. Hold on! What are you talking about, Deceit? Who's misleading who? Patton is misleading you. Frogwash! I may be amphibian, but I
This
say
is
that I am Pippin.
this is just out of control.
Bozos coming from the
I
South Park
think Thomas needs a break.